don't want to fumble it.
Okay, Alice, can you please greet us in Isizulu?
Ngingu Iris, umfundisi wako VAI. Ngingakusiza kanjani?
Puma FM Drive with Mzogologo, Mmuso Tips, and the Big Mouth.
So every Wednesday, around this time at 20 past actually, until almost until we leave the show, we speak to phenomenal women. I did start off the show, Ngati. Every Wednesday we speak to women that need to be seen, to be heard, to tell their stories so we can hear and understand them a little bit better. So today I'm joined by another phenomenal woman. I think this whole entire week I've been having women that just literally make me drop my jaw, because I kind of feel like angayenzi okuningi that I need to do in my life. Mamjoy, I think in my life now I've not completed my task.
We all haven't completed our task, but then we're heading there. You're slowly getting there.
When I said that I've spoken to so many women this week, I mean, you ladies just make me just want to go back to my archives on some. Okay, I need to finish that one. I need to finish that one. Oh no, okay, that one is finished. Okay, let's start a new one.
Because you're doing good.
I feel like what some of the women in this country that are sitting in positions like you're gonna let us know now. You ladies are literally have the patent, holding that light, and saying who is going to carry this light going forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to fight more harder to get us up where we need to. Before we even get to the nitty-gritties of everything else, I want Mamjoy to tell us, Mamjoy to ban, because I've got a lot in my brain right now. You can hear.
Oh, thank you so much for this brilliant and wonderful opportunity, especially that it was given to many women even before myself.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate to be here, and I want to say Happy Women's Month to you too. And to every woman out there, and then to everybody that is working hard to ensuring that women are emancipated. Joy, before I get to that part that you want to get.
Yes.
She's just a lady who grew up in Ketomena and who happened to be blessed with talent. And I'm a writer, I direct, I script writer, I write for TV, I write for stage, I write for radio. I used to write for radio.
Listen to that.
I write songs. I'm more into entertainment. So I've worked with market leading companies in communicating their whether strategies or programs that they have. But from there, I found myself being elected as a leader of a trade union. There was a trade union called Creative Workers Union of South Africa. I was a provincial secretary, KwaZulu-Natal Creative Workers Union, because you know that all the workers must be represented by a trade union. Yes. But unfortunately, as we speak, we don't have a trade union that represents creatives. So
I think that's one of the biggest problems that I've always had being in this industry, is that no one represents us. Silana, and she's just floating.
We're not recognized as workers. Hey. We pay 25 tax. So it's a mess. It's a serious mess that needs a collaboration from all of us in the creative industry. And then fast forward in 2018, I was elected by the province of KwaZulu-Natal to represent them in the national conference.
Nice.
But then in that national conference that had all the 9 provinces, I was elected as the first president of the Cultural and the Creative Industry Federation of South Africa, which is an umbrella body for all the sectors in the cultural and the creative industry, which was some of the gains from the trade union to have the industry organized as in sports. You can tell that the sport is well organized than us in the sector. So I was mandated to organize the industry in the whole country and organize all the sectors in the cultural and the creative industries.
Okay, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Can you understand when I say that? I think Naita as women, we need to start looking at women just like you and many others before you and currently now, because the women in different industries right now are doing phenomenally well. Yes. My goodness. Yes. Women are just popping up everywhere. Yes. I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. Yes. Some of the key lessons that you can share with us that you have learned, I mean, being the first female president, number one, of the cultural and creative industry, obviously.
Yeah.
The
It's,
lessons there, the challenges, they are there. I'm sure there's a million.
definitely, because somehow, culture and the creative industry, when it comes to leadership, it becomes male dominated. And when I was elected as the only woman amongst 5 men in the top 6. Because in leadership, if I no government, there's a top 6, like the president, the deputy president, and we are all coming from different provinces. For example, I'm the president coming from KwaZulu-Natal. The deputy president is coming from Mpumalanga. The secretary was coming from Free State. The deputy coming from Western Cape. Treasurer coming from Northern Cape. Organizer coming from Eastern Cape. So we are all speaking different languages for starters, and I have to organize every creative in the country, whether we speak the same language or not. I remember my first visit was in Limpopo. When I went there, ngazi isiZulu, ngazi English nyana, and now I have to address abantu, but I've learned that culture I boundaries, and also some of the lessons that I've learned as in being in the leadership is the absence of policies in the culture and the creative. Without policies, that is why we'll always complain about being exploited, etc., etc. It's not having proper legislations that can say, this one is an artist, this one is not an artist, and that there's a need for all of that. And we also learned that there are so many funding institutions that have funding that is the government, hence our creatives were not even aware. So it was also my responsibility to make them aware with so many opportunities, and there are so many careers within the culture and the creative industry. But fortunately, I've worked with men that have a respect, and I've worked with men who did not even accept that I'm the president. It was so difficult to be led by a woman. There was a province where one guy said, I cannot be led by a woman. And the first thing that I did when I get into that office, after noting that I'm the only female president, I started a structure called SIFSA Women's Wing. So I did not even get the full support from even my National Executive Committee, and it was during COVID, and I saw the need. There's a huge gap in the music industry in different sectors. I'll make an example with the music industry. You'll find there are a few female producers. Women are backing singers, or they are just models in the music videos. Whereas there are so many opportunities for them. So I saw the need for me to have a structure that will focus on emancipation of women. So that was the first achievement that I had. Let's have our own structure, because nobody can talk about the issues that are affecting women or even write about them, because when you find plays or movies, they're not written by women, but it's a story of women.
Oh my goodness, you just made my brain go crazy.
Yeah.
To actually think about it, I know only few, I'm sure less than 5 writers, female, that write female stories.
Yeah.
And to think, really, all these TV shows that we're watching, all these dramas are written by men telling women's stories.
Yes. So, you see, and men always say, "Good, we don't understand women." So how do you write about them? Because they're just complaining. Our fathers are smart only, but they write because there's an opportunity, and opportunities were presented to them. But also, being in conferences, what I've noted is that I'm a creative. They don't like meetings and conferences, and meetings are very essential. And activism in your sector is very important. I've always said to women, women, when you go to conferences, you'll find 80% of the delegation in that conference is females. But the outcomes, the people that will be elected is men.
Yeah.
And then who elects that man? So sometimes finally it's outdated. Inathi fanele siye singene maybe singasingenisa eminyango singene ewindini. You understand, singene ngewindi. So ngeke ngithi ke mengibatshela ngithi into esiyenzayo thina kuma conferences ukuhamba siyonokha la ema-roomini siboleka ama-charge. So fanele sihambe sibe active in conferences, si-deliberate in issues and raise our issues, because akekho ozowakhuluma ama-issues ethu as abantu besifazane. And being a woman, I always say it's not a disability, it's not about issues, even ama-achievements, because the fact that as a country now we've got a month dedicated to women, it means because of those women in 1956 abakwazi ukuthi bame bathi no to pass laws except etc. okwabo they didn't even have social media like we do these days, but
true.
in social media sisebenzisa for ezinye nje izinto of body shaming each other, you know. I think it's high time we fix each other's crown as women.
All right, we're going to take a quick music break. When you come back, I want us to address some of the pressing issues that you have discovered that some of the creatives in the industry are facing. We can talk about men and women, but I think we can focus on the female side of the issues. We'll be back at Timberland. Say something. All right, so we're going to continue with Women Be Seen. Umam Joy and I are still going to continue with our conversation. Before we took the music break, I did ask some of the pressing issues that you have heard, you have seen, you know about, that some of the creatives in our country are facing, had faced, and could be facing in the near future if we're not careful.
There are a lot of challenges. I think you have seen those that are brave coming out to speak about them. There's a challenge of access to rehearsal spaces, access to spaces. We don't have enough spaces in the country. We don't have schools that are able to grow umntwana or creative. The education system on its own doesn't allow umntwana, especially in our African school. Umntwana artist, if you go to that school, sometimes I drop it out because the school is not created, the system that is not created for creatives.
Oh yes,
you know, and the access to funding as well. Yes, there are so many funding institutions, and your government is trying. There was a presidential employment stimulus package. It has created employment for many creatives, but now I say okay. There's an MGE in the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. I think you have seen my artist Masha in the issue of the MGE. It's an issue that has been raised by some of the political parties in Parliament. And the issue of ungena kwepolitiki in the creative industry, and the issue of having people that are leading the sector that are not coming from the sector, that are just political deployees who do not understand the plight of the creatives, the frustrations that we are facing. It results to having many artists dying as paupers. You know, at the moment we are faced with depression. There was a time we're still struggling to recover from COVID. Remember, creative industry could not work for the past 2.5 years. So people are evicted. We have lost so much. We have lost lives. We have lost houses. Our kids were taken out of schools. So we don't have a recovery plan. Government doesn't have a recovery plan for the sector up to date. So it results to many depression that you would see, and I think you have seen in social media. Abanye bekhala, abanye, I mean, I get calls even in the morning, in the earliest morning, somebody saying, "Hey, President, I think I need to of legends, from legends, people that we respect. But I think it's time I take my life, because I feel like I am not loved by my own country. I'm not recognized by my own country." So even the funding that is allocated by government for the sector, it's peanuts. It's absolutely, and you get the ministers that will even not use that funding, and then the funding when you are saying it's too little, the funding that is allocated for the sector, vis-a-vis the contribution that we are making in the GDP of this country as a sector. The support, we're not even getting the support from private sector, because the private sector also is a beneficiary of the creative industry from the works. For example, my event, if my FM, my event, because it does create employment for artists in my FM, my event. But there are so many people who fly from Johannesburg and different provinces. The airlines are getting so much money from that, but they're not contributing in the sector. The hotels, they're not contributing in the sector. I think it boils down to the issue of having proper regulations and policies of the sector that will govern the sector on its own, and that will also need us, government and private sector, working together into achieving that. But what really delayed that as well was not having a proper body that the government can talk directly to as ISIFSA, because we will go to government as individuals, you know, my FM, music and this and this and that. We have never been at a stage of being able to talk about policies. At this stage, we've got a copyright amendment bill We've got performance protection bill. Those bills are going back and forth. Now they're at the Constitutional Court because we had to say to government, we cannot have a bill that is taking away our intellectual property. Have a bill that says that there's a clause in that bill. It's anyone can use your work without your knowledge or compensation. You know, so that's where the argument is at, and it needs to be decolonized, the copyright amendment bill on its own. But that also, the back and forth results to actors not getting their royalties at SABC. You know, and I think you have seen this the Samro saga as well. So there's a lot. I think I'm an artist now. I activism. Understand if we don't do anything now, what about our children? Because the fact that I'm an artist, I have given the same DNA to my child. All my children are artists, unfortunately. And so I don't know whether it's you know, if I was rich enough, I would be taking them to Ikole right and then Nyabon. But now, and I'm thinking, what are they going to have? The very same frustration that I had. And then benefits when you die. There's no wife, EYF. There is nothing.
We on our own.
And as you should see, abanye abantu bazobathi artist ayidla imali kanti no wonke umuntu uyayidla imali, but mozokhona namhlanje you are good as your last show. It's the same thing to umuntu dies proper. Doesn't mean ukuthi artists do not have money to bury themselves. Mengifakile kuleyo funeral parlor ngisuke ngifakile ukuthi mhlambe for 100 people. And then when there's government, and then because I'm a big artist, everybody's interested. Siyalwa no government when there's a funeral of an artist, it's bang a spotlight all the time, the industry and government. So that is when we go to government and say, please assist. But iphuma kambi tu bengasenayo imali okungcwatshwa kwaze kwasiza government. No, ubenayo imali okungcwaba, but it was not catered for the
120
yes,
people.
Yes, yes.
Why get into the industry and the level that you're in the industry? Besides the passion, the gift that you have to be a creative and be in the arts, but why go this far? Is there something that is burning in you that you feel just being a creative is not enough?
I did not choose to be here. We were born to be here. We were born like this. If I had any other option, I would be somewhere else, because I'm in a space where I was not to Holani. I did not choose. I think I was created like this, you know. But also, Nkulunkulu gave us a serious responsibility of educating and entertaining and rehabilitating. You know, hence the department has a mandate of social cohesion.
Yeah.
I always make an example of a time where in this country, our political parties were banned. We were the voice of the voiceless. The reason why there was liberation and there was change in the country, it's because of my artist, when I was we miss you Manelo, of Abombongeningema, not yet Asinamali, Abo not yet Uhuru. You know, that we've got a huge responsibility of keeping the country calm. Actually, the creative industry controls the mood of the country. If Tina and Jengamanje, we can change and write songs and play, sisho noma yini, sifunekliwe kungaliwa.
That I know for
we
sure. We
control the mood of the country. Because right, umuntu are frustrated, esenjalene goduka athi let me play some music. Athi uba calm, yabona. Ufike ekhaya, you watch your TV, you forget about your problems, you look at the problems of the character and you relate with them, and you know somebody that has the similar program. I think that is one of the reasons that I wanted to see ushintsho in my country, in my community, in everything that I touch. Ngiyathanda ukuthi ngibona, it's very inspiring to hear somebody at yo, I watch your play, because most of when I write my plays, I'm most educational, and I write for women. I've got a production written by myself. It's 100% women, from everything, from the producer and everything. So when there was a time when we were working for the office of the premier, and then there was this lady who came, who was crying. I saw myself in that play, because I was addressing an issue of a woman saying that I received flowers today. It was not any other special day, but he said so many awful things to me, but I know he's sorry because he gave me flowers. I received flowers today. Last night he threw me against the wall, but I know he's sorry because he gave me flowers. I received flowers today, but today he finally killed me, but I know he is sorry.
Because he gave me flowers.
Because he gave me flowers today.
Oh,
So it made that woman think, ukuthi, I'm going to get my last flowers. I'm going to get my last flowers. She came to me and said, President, I am going to get my last flowers if I don't get out of this relationship. That's the role we are playing as creative. That's why we must always remember that whenever we are writing, it doesn't always have to be educational. It has to be entertaining.
Yes.
But you must always be thinking, who are you writing for?
that's true. Before we say goodbye, any advice to young creatives, writers, directors?
I will say talent can take you places. Discipline and respect will keep you in those places. And you have to take care of the people that take care of you, which are your consumers. Consumers of your work, you must respect them. Because abantu bayaphuma kuwe. If uzophakama just because ukusaphakeme and isikhathi indawo suke kubekwe kuyona sukubekwe uNkulunkulu lo msebenzi unikezwe uNkulunkulu namathongo. Mongakwazi ukuhlonipha lokho kumele ukuthi ube nayo into ekubambile ekuvikelayo. So if you don't respect all of that, maningi amathuba akho kushabalala nanokuthi ke angeke kuhlale kunje ngiyazi kunzima kodwa let us unite. United we stand but divided we fall.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Like, I feel like you and I should have another conversation after this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Women's Month, Mawe.
Thank you so much. Happy Women's Month.
Today on the show.
Thank you.